We are back with another comparison video. This is the monochromatic madness video. Let's freaking go. So first up on the table, we have got a Radiomaster Pocket and a Radiomaster Boxer. Both of these have a very similar style of display. Let me show you. So we can see that they're both running monochromatic screens, black and white in old money. Now, an idea initially given by a guy over on my Discord, if you haven't joined, links down below, please do, called Summy, and he said compare it to something like a mobile phone to give us a real world example as to what the actual size, etc. differences are. Because, and he's got a very good point actually, although he didn't say this, but I understand why he asked for it. But my hands, I keep saying, this is too small for my hands, this is too big for my hands, I've got massive hands. Saying I've got big hands is, you know, it's like saying that the moon is made of rock. Until you get there, you don't know what type of rock it's made of. So me saying I've got a big hand, brilliant, amazing. But by seeing it next to, this is a Samsung Galaxy S25, it gives you the idea of the size differences. And if we hold them up like that, again, gives you an idea of those size differences. If we put it like that, you can sort of see the difference in the width. So it gives you an idea of what those size differences indeed are. Now, I'm going to look at some of the cost comparisons, and as per the previous videos, I'm going to go with the manufacturer's costs. I know that you'll be able to get these for different prices from AliExpress and so on and so forth, but just to keep everything as uniform as I can, it'll be the ELRS version and it'll be based upon the manufacturer's website. Looking at Radiomaster's website, we're going to select ELRS, FCC and Iceberg Blue. And that gives us a price of $64. That's not a bad price for what you're getting. Let's have a look at what it is that you actually get. So for that price, you do get standard gimbals, and these gimbals are nice and tight. This is a difficult one because me telling you what I think of it is difficult, but the gimbals are not awful. That's the important thing. On the top of the radio here, a latching switch on either side, and then you've got two 3-position switches here, a momentary switch there, and a dial there. So a momentary switch, I'll put a link in the video corner now if I remember, to the jumper Bumblebee that we reviewed, and in that I showed you how to make that latching switch basically a normal switch with a few little commands in there. So that's going to give you probably enough for most drones. So you can set, obviously, your normal modes are like that. You can have a pre-arm there, you can have an arm there, you can have a buzzer there, horizon mode, horizontal mode, GPS rescue. Yeah, I think you've got enough for the majority of quads out there. It's not full of buttons, but I think it's just about enough for flying quads, and it is really nice and small and compact. I've got the backs taken off because I've put some batteries in. You can expand it with the JR bay, so if you want to fly Crossfire or anything else, you can put a JR module in there. The screen is, and you'll have to bear with me because I don't think these batteries have got much life left in them. The screen is as basic as a monochrome screen is, but it gives you everything that you need. You've got your ExpressLRS Lua scripts, you can install them. You've got a few games already installed as well. You've got your setup buttons over here. Again, all very much Edge TX, very simple, very straightforward. There isn't anything in here that's not in any of the others. There's nothing missing. You can even get it to speak to you using the free voice command pack that we've, or voice prompt pack, should I say, that we've given away in one of our previous videos, which again, I'll try and link up there if I remember. But that is the Radiomaster Pocket. Now, before that annoys me even more, let me just adjust this. So the gimbals are Hall effect gimbals. It weighs 288 grams. Obviously there's an ELRS or a non-ELRS version. Pick whichever one you want. My advice in 2025 especially is ELRS. However, the maximum power output of ELRS on the Radiomaster Pocket and Pocket Crush is 250 watts. Now, yes, I know everyone's going to jump up and down in the comments and say, yes, but the legal limit is 25 milliwatts. That's fine, but there are places and reasons and things we can do in different places and things where we can fly at a higher frequency. But if your radio is limited to 250 milliwatts, you're not going to be able to fly at 500 milliwatts if you suddenly get yourself a waiver, a license, or move to a different country, whatever the reason may be. So that's the Radiomaster Pocket. It does have a lot going for it, and I know that we have a laugh and we have a joke, and I do like to pan it on a regular basis because it's not for me, but it's not a bad radio at all. For me, there are better ones in the smaller compact versions, but it's fine. There's no problems with it. My biggest issue is if I didn't have massive hands, would I pick it because it's only got 250 milliwatts? Probably not. I've got to be honest. And I never fly at more than what the legal limit is, officer. However, to have that extra available to you, I think is really quite important. So that's where I am with it. And that's my honest opinion. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll feed all these scores into something and I'll put something on the screen to represent what the scores it's got now. There you go. Okay, so the Radiomaster Boxer. Now, this is going to be a bit of a difficult one. First of all, let me show you on here. The cost price is $140 for the Radiomaster Boxer standard. But you'll notice that this is no longer a standard Boxer. So if we go and have a look here, it works out to then be... obviously I've got different buttons and different gimbals in that I've done myself. It's $260, a full near $200 more expensive than the Pocket. And that's quite a lot, I've got to admit. Even for somebody who used this as their daily driver for a long time, that's still a lot of money for it. Now, that's the height of it in comparison to a Samsung Galaxy S25, and that is the width of it in comparison to a Samsung Galaxy S25. You'll notice it is quite a bit bigger than the Radiomaster Pocket. However, it does come with a few reasons as to why it's bigger and why that is better, in my opinion. Now, again, I'll feed the scores in. It may well be the Pocket width, who knows? So the screen, as you can see, is very, very similar. All of the menus are laid out in exactly the same way, but it's just a little bit easier to see.
Switch warning, turtle mode on.
And again, you can set the voice prompts up. You've got your telemetry, you've got your model loss that we showed, and everything is in there. But I still like using this today, even with all the other controllers that I've got, and there's a few reasons why. Let me turn the screen off. Gimbals are, without question, some of the best gimbals I've ever used, by far. I probably prefer the Hello Radio overall, but from a gimbal point of view, these are right up there at the top of the tree. You've got two momentary switches. No, you've got a momentary switch, sorry, and no, let's try that again. You've got a momentary switch here, and you've got a latching switch here. So the way I tend to use it is I'll use that for my pre-arm, and then you've got a 2-position switch there, a 2-position switch there, and 2 3-position switches here. You can also make use of these as switches as well. So you've got a lot more options available to you. So straight away, you do have a lot more options. The screen is also a little bit bigger to see, which is good for old people like me whose eyesight is not what it used to be when I was a young whippersnapper. Around the back of the radio, you've also got a JR bay. This is a full-size JR bay, unlike the Radiomaster Pocket, which is a sort of a mini version. You can fit larger batteries in here for longer battery life as well, but it is significantly more expensive. And is it significantly more performance? That's the question that you've got to ask yourselves. Do you want something that's really small, light, and can be thrown in your bag? Or do you want something that's a little bit bigger, a little bit heftier? I prefer the slightly more hefty radios. I prefer the slightly larger ones because I've got larger hands, and I prefer the ones that give me more switches, because this means I can do position hold, altitude hold, I can do buzzer, I can do positioned and altitude hold, I can do GPS rescue, angle mode, I've got an arm switch, I've got loads of switches. I'm never going to run out of switches on the Radiomaster Boxer, and that's why I still like to use it. I'm going to flash the scores up on the screen now, and ultimately, based upon a very set metrics, we have a winner. The question is, do you agree with the winner that we have based upon that set metrics? Is that the one for you? Are you going to pick that when you go flying next? Or are you going to pick the other one? And if you're going to pick either one, which one are you picking and why? We're going to do more of these comparison videos as we move forward. So we've got the TX15, we've got the Hello Radio, we've got the TX16, we've got the Jumper Bumblebee, we've got loads and loads of radios, drones, goggles, etc. that we're going to compare each one to help give you guys a better understanding of what is what, how it is how, and where it is where on the whole spectrum and the scale of FPV, which can be incredibly daunting to start off getting into. If you've got any questions whatsoever, please do just drop them in the comments down below. I reply to absolutely everybody. I love you all. We've fostered an amazing community here. What I want to do now is really push on to the next level. So please do leave a comment, share this video, hit that like button, because trust me, it helps more than you could ever realize. Until next time, peace out and have a great weekend. YouTube and I have had a chat, and we believe that this is the video that you'll like the most. So watch it and let me know if they're right.